Hey everybody, it's almost Independence Day 2017. I think we've got a few minutes to go before we hit midnight. And so if you're watching the previous videos on mowing this wheat hay down, we're working on baling it up. And quality on it is not outstanding. It's better than nothing. And got a lot of weeds in it, but there is some kochia, which is okay. You know, okay feed for cows. And so we're trying to get it all baled up. We've covered a lot of acreage here, and a lot of dust in this hay since it is a field and we did have to rake it. So I don't know how much dirt's going to be in these bales. It's a problem we're generally not faced with. So on this baler, this John Deere 567, you can see all the dirt. There's no kicker bar on it. So I got to back up every time. This baler is about as old as this tractor is. It's a 7510 tractor, around 2002 model year, 01, 02. And the baler is about the same age. It's a John Deere 567. The baler itself has about 28,000 bales on it. And for the first time here last fall, I relaced the belts. I mean, I do lace pins every year, sometimes twice a year, depending on how much hay there is to put up. So I'm diligent about the lace pins, but last year was the first time the belts had been relaced, and they're original belts. And I give a lot of credit to the longevity of that, to the RPM at which I'm baling at. You can see it. Right around 1500 RPMs is where I like to run the baler for a couple reasons. Reason one is to reduce the amount of rotations of the bale, which, you know, the more you handle hay, the worse quality gets. It doesn't matter if your conditions are good or not. The more you handle it, the worse off your feed will be. And so by turning the bale less, you're knocking less leaves and foliage, or in this case, you're taking less of maybe the grain heads off or the kochia leaves, which we're trying to preserve because that's the best part of the feed. So that helps. I mean, and that helps with your chamber wear, your belt wear, chain wear. I mean, basically it helps every aspect of the whole machine. A lot better on the pickup. I mean, and that's a lot of why I think this baler has been able to run as long as it has been. And we take care of it. I mean, we do the best we can with our equipment. So these old 567s, one of the kind of the pitfalls on them is John Deere really didn't use heavy enough gauge wiring, and they didn't use a heavy enough connector for power supply. There's that little connector over here on the right hand side. You can't see it because it's dark, but they're just not heavy enough, and you get into heavy baling situations where you're kicking out a lot of bales and it's on a hot day. That connection will be hot to the touch. And I've actually taken on a couple other machines and actually taken that John Deere connector out and hooked up a 2-prong flat connector and that's actually worked better, heat wise, than the John Deere connector. When you start running into on a hot day with this baler, you can start running into issues with it. The actuator missing a cycle. It'll tell you bales are wrapped and they're not wrapped, and then it'll tell you they're not wrapped and they'll be wrapped, and kind of a finicky. It's got some finicky electrical problems that pretty much all the 567s of this vintage had, and they're kind of starting to lose some support now, as far as I'm aware, for the monitor and things like that. But as old as it is, we've got our money out of it, and at this point it's just a backup to the Vermeer baler. But we're still running them both fairly full time. But it's nice to have one new baler in the herd here that we can depend on. So this moisture tester is in the bale chamber, and it's running really low right now, but it just runs in and out of it. We're at 18 there almost. And just depending on how many wet weeds I've picked up, or just there's such a variance in the kind of feed that I'm baling up here. It's more about feel and getting out and checking the hay, checking the bales, than it is about the moisture tester. And with as hot as it is today, and tomorrow they're talking close to 100, it probably won't even do tonight. With a light wind, I don't think we could probably bale all night if we had enough raked hay, but I think we'll only have enough to go to about 2 in the morning. So another hour or two, wrap this up and maybe get some sleep, try to hit it again in the morning. Today we actually started about 4:30 in the morning, had a bunch of cows to AI, and here we are about 20 hours later. We're still going, getting a half week's worth of work done in a day for most folks. So yeah, didn't have a whole lot else to do. I thought I'd shoot this video. Don't know what else to add to it really, but we're out here getting it done, and everything's running smooth. The Vermeer baler is across the way. I think we'll see it when we turn around here in a second. Shift down. Turn around. The bad part is this dust is so thick, and I'm driving back with it on my return trip. There's the other balers over there. He's got nice LED lights on that 4630. I just got the standard lights on this. I'm running in D2, which is about 9 miles an hour, 1500 RPM. That's a real nice speed. The pickup speed matches real well with the ground speed. I was going to say it's funny, this tractor handles the baler better, the hydraulics are better on it than the 4630. But that 4630 running in these dusty conditions, with that big pre-cleaner on top, that Turbo 2 on it, sure a lot easier on air filters than this tractor is. Which I can't add that to this tractor, so I'm just stuck with it. But if I had to pick one, this tractor's just more pleasurable to drive. It's 40 years newer, but the other one's still getting it done too. And we don't have the new baler on this tractor only because this John Deere is a 540 PTO, and that 4630 is 1,000 spline only. So we can't run this old baler on the old tractor. And maybe I will switch that over the next time I have a drive shaft problem. I'll convert it over. So I suppose that's probably about enough for one night. And happy Independence Day, America. You make it great. You make America great, and proud to be working alongside you. So have a good day, and we'll talk at you next time.